You know, it's interesting you talk about the numbers and how as you look forward and you look at what's going on with the economy, it takes more phone calls, it takes more leads, it takes more prospects to make a sale. It's always been a really interesting numbers game. And now it sounds like the numbers need to increase to reach the same sort of success, and that through the offering the unique promotions and targeting that towards specific audiences, that it'll make the numbers that you do get even more interested because you're appealing directly to them.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. I agree with you, Gavin. I think I'll give you an example. Just talking about a prospective resident here at this project in Atlanta today, and one of the creative things they're doing. This particular individual wanted to move into the community, and could afford to do it, but didn't want to leave their home vacant while it was still while it was unsold. One of the great things about the flexibility and creativity they've empowered the sales team to have is they've used the incentive dollars, which in this case was about a $15,000 allotment for that particular residence that they were looking at. They used those dollars to help them rent furniture and stage their empty home so it could continue to be actively marketed in the most effective way. Meanwhile, those people have moved in.
Right.
That particular use of that incentive was the most meaningful to them, rather than just say, "Hey, we're going to give you $15,000 off the entrance fee."
That might be be one of the more creative uses of incentive dollars.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what really this client and what we've worked together to help come up with is just to say, again, as I said, it's one size does not fit all anymore, and just a discount off the entrance fee that may be well and good, but sometimes just when you discover what the true issue is, and you're able to address that in a successful, meaningful way, we're finding people are making decisions to go ahead and make the move. So it could be, obviously the tried and true things of covering moving expenses or downsizing things, but that I thought this one with renting the furniture to help stage that home was one of the more creative ways that I've heard in recent times, but it was the most meaningful thing for that prospect to enable them to make the move now rather than later.
Yeah, it takes the worry out of their mind.
Right.
Yeah, what's interesting? What's interesting as well is you're describing the process, and in fact, it is a process. And where that process used to be, show and sell, now it's show again, talk some more, show it again, and it's still a process. It's just a longer process.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting when you read the book Generations, which we all have been either read or have attended some session to be reminded about the generations we're serving. One of the characteristics also of the silent generation is they include more people in the decision-making process than previous generations. Uh-huh. So, what we're seeing is that, unfortunately, some of the children who get involved in that decision, or even advisors, financial or attorneys, that perhaps have been more personally affected because they have, whether 401ks have been affected and all the other things, or investment portfolios are down. We're finding that I think they even have a louder voice or more of an influence now. They may not be saying, don't do it to mom or dad or their family member, but they might be saying, do you think it's the right time to do it?
Right.
And it's because of their own anxiety about things. So you're right, it's just taking longer. It's taking more touches with prospects. Again, another characteristic we're seeing, I think, this past year, and we'll continue to see, is because of those things we talked about, the obvious things that are causing people to hesitate. I think we are seeing a little older resident at times, consider the move. So we've got to consider, the ramifications of that. But the bottom line is the most important, in that we've got to move people in so that the financial picture of the communities improves to such that we can, protect all the residents and provide a secure lifestyle and a future promise that we all do in our communities.
All right, man. Well, listen, this has been terrific. You've added some real value to our process here and our what we're going to deliver on this interview process. So we appreciate your time, and
we're going to see you in Chicago.
You will see me in Chicago. I look forward to it, and thanks always for the time, and good to talk to you guys.
All right,
Jay,
have a great
night.
All right, take care.
Bye, man.